What's going on, family? This is episode 48 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. I am joined, as always, by Mr. What's Good himself, Israel.
What's good?
And you know we got a doctor in the house because we got Luke in the building.
Yo, what's going on, family? What's going on? I'm back. I'm back. I was gone, but never forgotten. You heard me. So, how y'all doing? Good to see everybody.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on, fellas? Well, you know how we start this thing off. How was y'all weekend?
Man, usually Israel started off, so I'll start this one off. Man, it was busy, bro, but it was a good weekend. It's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. Life is happening right now, and I'm still forever grateful. So, basically, over the weekend, bro, we got a lot of stuff we getting ready for, up here. And I basically, man, just trying to maintain and keep things going. But other than that, bro, and life is good, bro. Life is good. We made it another day, made it another week to get a chance to see these beautiful people that's been walking with us over these months. We getting these subscribers, so I'm just happy to be back, man. What about you, Israel, man? What's going on with you, bro?
Man, it's been a whole bunch of motorcycle stuff, chilling and motorcycle hauling and working wrenches on a motorcycle, working out, getting my mind and my body right, getting some sunlight, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Motorcycle stuff. Got to haul some motorcycles over the weekend, and got to chill a little bit and work out, and went to go chill at my boss's house. White people barbecue something else. Some of them can cook and some of them can't. He was kind of in between. I don't know. Just go for the darkest meat when you have the barbecue. So I just kept it light, hamburger, hot dog, and chicken. I don't need to try the desserts or none of that stuff. And yeah, it was alright. It was alright. Not enough of going back for seconds, but yeah.
Well, I got something to complain about. All right. My week was okay, but I got something I got to get off my chest. Okay, so y'all, I don't understand what it is with these hotels, right? The way that they always be trying to double charge your card is criminal. It is
That's
so
crazy.
criminal. I'm sick and tired of these people. They always trying to, when you traveling and you gotta, get you a room or whatever, it make me not even want to use my car no more. But then they say you gotta use the card. I don't want to. Just take my cash. Cause y'all keep double charging people unnecessarily.
They be wanting 150 deposit. I'm like, what? The room already 300.
Hey,
Crazy.
I always had a hack for that type of situation though. You always keep one card that you only transfer money to. And that's usually the card that I use when I put it on file. So if they say, "Oh, we're gonna hold 75," I put 75 specifically on this card and I get that card to them. So when they do that double transaction thing they try to do, it ain't gonna go through. And they never gonna bother you because they weren't supposed to do it anyway. Airlines be doing that sometimes too. They'll double charge you for your seat, then refund it back to you in a week. Like, what's the purpose to that, bro? So I definitely feel you on that. But that's my little hack for that, Solomon. I ain't gonna lie. I put that money on that card and then leave my rest of my money alone.
Well, they disrespectful. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. They disrespectful. But yeah, that was my little thing. I had a good week. Really working. Been bonding with myself. Because at the end of the day, what Drake say is like myself just told myself I'm the man. I don't need no help. No, I'm just playing.
Big
But
Blow
no, I've
said
been
at
in
the end of the day that they
some
got an
solitude.
end.
Yeah. No, I've been in some solitude though. I've been in some solitude kind of getting ready for my summer plans, some things that I got going on. that I want to accomplish, and goals that I'm trying to make sure that I complete. Right off the top, like I said, family, I got a new new author alert. Mrs. Coleman, I'm gonna continue to push her to make sure that we know when her book is coming out. It should be June 10th, I believe. When I get all of the information together, I'm going to continue to push it on the podcast so people know what's coming. One of my new clients that's out of Jacksonville, Florida. So be on the lookout for that. And then right off the top, you all know There Are Only 9 Numbers is out right now. Make sure you guys get you guys a copy. If you are into the numerology and the numbers, make sure you guys grab that. All right. I'm trying to think of anything else off the top. I think that might be it. All right, let's get into our first topic of today. We got a few of them. This the title of the episode is Easter Monday. I don't really want to talk about Easter because every single time I talk about Easter, people get offended. We could break that down another time. But let's start with what happened on after Easter, which is the Pope. Family. I don't know who Catholic is who listening to us, but they say this now. And that is the Pope passing away at the age of 88 years of age. Okay, Pope Francis has died at the age of 88. The Vatican said Pope Francis died just after 7:35 a.m. local time on Monday. The Vatican said in a statement later that on today that Francis died of a stroke that had put him into a coma and led to irreversible heart failure. Pope Francis had experienced a number of health issues in recent years, including 2 abdominal surgeries and several serious respiratory infections. He spent 5 years in the 5 weeks in the hospital in February to March of this year with bronchitis that developed into pneumonia in both of his lungs. So, family. Yeah. So, fellas, what y'all want to talk about? How y'all want to talk about this situation? Because I got a question. My question is, do y'all believe? Well, first of all, y'all initial thoughts of the passing. And then my question is, do y'all believe this is the last Pope?
My thoughts is it's about time because some people need to get out of their positions and let younger people start ruling stuff because people be wanting to die in office and they ain't doing nothing good for nothing, and somebody probably killed them because they feel the same sentiments, and then
Wait, what?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Some people they need to get out of office and get out of their position. Like even some people at a certain time, like it was something I was talking to one of my fellow counterparts where they should have something called a change in power service, where it's basically you're handing over the baton because you're too old and you ain't doing nothing, and people need some new juice to rejuvenate, whether it's the service, the organization, the religion, the way of life, and yeah, some people waiting on people to die, and it's like and this is why it would be different also, with all the health problems he has, somebody should have been like, hey, we see what you got going on. You should pass this on. Dying in office seems so noble, but at a certain time, even like in our religion, you got people who's sicker than a dog, and it's like, yo, just give it up so you can take care of your health. And that's why it's important to take care of your health from the get-go, because you only get one body. right? You only get one body that you got to take care of. You're gonna be healthy or you're gonna be sick. And if you're healthy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And if you're sick, you got two things to worry about. Either you're gonna die or you're gonna live. Right? Now if you live, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you die, you got two things to worry about. You know? It's crazy. I could go deeper with that, but we gonna stop right there. But somebody should have been talked him out of office or something. Hopefully we get a young pope, but not we, because it don't matter to me. But they get a young pope or something like that. New juice, new rejuvenation. Same thing with all the old heads up in the office, the White House. Half of them people need to die and not in office, so we get some new people, new orders, new legislations, new rules and regulations. It would be a better place, right? It would be what Trump said, making America great, with them old people dying or just getting out of office. But after a while, when they ain't
Wait a
doing
minute.
nothing, they gotta go.
What does the Pope got to do with America?
Oh, it has everything to do with the Catholic people, but it just has everything to do with everything else, with religion and situations. Him dying in the office. Come on now. He should have been past that baton. He should have been somewhere chilling with his grandchildren if he had them.
I think that's how they usually do it, though. Don't ain't that how they usually do it, Luke?
Yeah, I was just gonna let Jonathan Cook do his thing, and then I was gonna. All right, so I feel where you coming from, Jonathan. So, that ain't really how it worked though when it comes to the Pope office. So usually it'll have to be something really bad for the Pope to be like voted out, and usually that would happen with the Cardinals. The Cardinals would come together. That'd have to be something extreme, which
That's
actually
bad
was
enough.
something. Wait, hold on. Pope Francis was actually really loved. The Pope before him, very sketchy. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a former Nazi. The Pope that was before Pope Francis. That's actually one of the few popes in history that's actually resigned. So there was some reason why he resigned. But when Pope Francis came in, the Catholic people really loved him. But now they don't really like step out of office. Like, and then the Pope, I don't think they're gonna have a younger one because the degree itself is made for an elder. It's an elder degree, usually the wisest of the wisest. So when the Cardinals come together, they vote on someone that is already a cardinal, usually, and that cardinal is then, elevated into the Pope. As far as like legislation, they have a part in government, but not as much. They still have a very strong financial backing, especially dealing with the Vatican and things like that. But Rome is ran a little more suit and tie-ish nowadays. It's not like how it was back in the old days. So the Pope still has power, don't get me wrong, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Same thing with the royal families in England. They have some kind of power, but not really a lot of power like they used to. But now I'm Coptic. So that's my political answer. Now I'm Coptic, so I'm about to go in. Because see, the name of this podcast is the Pharaohs Podcast. So when you telling me that the key holder of my ancestors' items is there, like I have no sentimental like feeling. Like y'all stole all our stuff, right? And then I have to spend all this energy, all this generational stress that we done dealt with, trying to prove to these black folks that they somebody, because y'all always stealing everything that would help me be able to prove the point. But that's just my Coptic grieving side. That's my warrior side when it comes to the situation. That's like asking me, am I sad that an enemy passed away? I'm sorry. I don't know how to be sad about that because you stole everything, including the troops, so much to where another country's leader who is claimed to be a dictator had to check you and say, it's funny how you not telling the black folks about all of the black artifacts you have about the actual color of the ancient people and the actual color of the chosen people, which y'all calling Israelites or y'all calling this, that, and third, because y'all swear up and down y'all the chosen people. Now, to my viewers who are from different places, I know you know what I'm saying is true because we in 2025. This is not nothing new. We understand that the black seed is the origin, or this is where it all starts. The problem I have as a Coptic man is that I have to go through all of this stress. And it's like you holding it for what? Just let the truth be known. So that's my problem with the Vatican. That's my problem with all the cardinals and definitely the Pope, because the Pope got all the power when it comes to that. But you know, if you let that out and you prove these people to be right, you're gonna have an issue, because then over time people gonna start looking at you like, so why was you doing that in the first place? You don't want the skirt to be lifted up. So no, I ain't that sad. It's just not really that sad. We done lost a lot of pharaohs over the time, and we done lost a lot of artifacts, and we got a lot of stuff that ain't been given back to us. Well, it ain't even been presented to us. You stole it already. You can at least tell us about it and show us so we can prove it to the people. But other than that, I digress, bro. That's my feeling when it comes to the Pope. I mean, they gonna find another Pope. They probably right now having council sessions and meetings, and you're gonna hear the announcement soon, because at the end of the day, the church gonna roll on no matter where you at. The temple, the mosque, the synagogue, it's gonna keep rolling, because it's set up in a way to where it ain't supposed to die if the lead if something was to happen to the leader. The leader, that ain't the whole organization. So we already know they're gonna be fine. You know, they gotta mourn for a little bit. And I understand it's still human life. Still he got family and people that cared about him, so but I like Pope Francis way better than I like the last Pope. That's my opinion on it. So I don't know where everybody went. But yeah, that's my dialogue with it. Like, I don't really know how to be that sad about it. And nowadays, they got so much stuff. It's just like you might as well let a little bit of it out. And like I say, we copped it. So if you see in the formalities of the way we dress, it's so crazy, because I live in a day and time where people see me in my robe and my garment and they think I took it from them, but really they took it from us. So I'm gonna always have that deep down in my DNA, because it's a part of my spirituality. And then they picked up little pieces of it and tried to do their own thing. So yeah, now that y'all back in there, that's my point. I was keeping the people entertained till everybody came on back. What you think about it, Solomon? How you feel about this, bro?
I mean, well, the Pope was, I mean, he's 88 years old. I mean, they usually don't, the popes are usually very old when they go ahead and check out of here. Besides the one that you had said, the one that had resigned, that was a whole big scandal that had happened years ago about that whole situation, because they was like, it's really unheard of for a pope to resign unless he was into some devious type of situations that even the Vatican said he had to get up out of there for. So um yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, the feed was to start tweaking once you start going in. See, it's always like that. Once we start going in on some stuff that's going on with the Pope, with religion, period, it's always something going on with our feed. But anyway, this is expected. They don't Israel, they usually check out, once they go and transition over, that's when the next person, the next cardinal, which is Kevin something, some cardinal has spoke on the behalf of the Pope, actually just of today, of saying, what's going to happen next. So yeah, they usually go ahead and get to that next office. Of course, they are elected to that position. But it is shocking that, first of all, he just was at the Easter celebrations yesterday on Sunday. Then he wake up this morning and he's gone. And then it's like, I'm reading into it like, okay, well, he was 88 years old. Then I'm looking at the day and time. I get real conspiracy theory sometime when stuff be happening in the world. So it's an interesting situation, because it's our 48th episode, right? And I want to say something about the 48 laws of power. Okay. So today is just a day of power being, I want to say like transferred, you feel me, to someone else. Easter itself came super late this year. Normally it's like at the end of March, right? Or in March. It's usually like around March, like towards the end of March. This year came at the end of April. Stuff be
They
happening.
wanted the
We
people
don't
to
know.
get high in the spirit and high in
Yeah.
life at the same time.
Yeah, they be doing some stuff. They be doing some stuff. Um I want to also piggyback off what you said, Luke, about how they be hiding stuff. The Vatican has all of the information when it comes to the melanated people on this earth. They have it hidden away. Now, Russia kind of gave some stuff out, but when it comes to religion and spirituality, of who the real masters are, the ones who really are the messiahs of this world, they were really melanated beings. I touched on this last week a little bit when I had gave out like the information about, but melanated people didn't come from Neanderthals. Okay, that was the pale civilization. What I'm saying is when it comes to all of the how we are functioning to society today, of who is the Jesus per se, or the Yahshua, or the Haru, or whatever word you want to use. You know what I'm saying? This is a melanated being. This is a person with high here we go again. Here we go
Yeah,
again.
I
As soon
know
as I
it be
start
like
talking.
that all the
A
time, don't
high
it?
melanated beings that are the ones who are the so-called messiahs. I remember when there's a picture going around. I wish I would have brought it up today, but there's a picture going around of the Black Madonna, the Black Mother Mary. You know what I'm saying? There's just a picture of a melanated woman with a baby that is also black, brown, dark skinned. So when we talking about the Pope and we talking about the Vatican, we talking about what's going on over there in the UK or over there in Europe, they know the truth. We don't have to do a deep dive on the why America even separated itself from Europe, why they even want to come over here and have a brand new civilization and country uh when it comes to all of the wars and stuff that had got started. But that's really my 2 cents on the Pope. It's crazy that it's crazy timing. 88 years old, and he dies after Easter. Yeah, it was significant to me in this type of timing. All right. You know what's some real bad timing, fellas?
What you got? What you got?
Well, the bad timing for Shannon Sharpe. This is breaking news. This happened like some hours ago. But I'm gonna get into it because this is significant. Okay, family. NFL Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe has been accused of the R word in SA. If y'all know what that means, it means sexual assault. In a lawsuit filed by a woman in Nevada. Okay, the plaintiff, who is suing under the name Jane Doe, alleges that Sharpe, 56, who now works for ESPN, had raped her on multiple occasions over the course of a nearly 2-year rocky consensual relationship. The woman alleges that Sharpe also recorded their sexual encounters without her consent and shared the recordings with others. The woman, now a Nevada resident, says that she met Shannon Sharpe when she was about 22 years old at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023. She claims that he made multiple advances toward her in visits to the gym before she actually gave in. Sharpe allegedly asked the woman to sign a non-disclosure agreement before she could meet up with him, but then dropped the request after she pushed back. Supposedly, allegedly, Shannon became violent with her and threatened to actually unalive her after she showed up late to his home. The lawsuit references the time in September of 2024. Sharpe says he mistakenly gave the live stream of himself on Instagram having sex with a woman. The plaintiff states that this encounter was another woman and that she was humiliated by the incident and she began to pull away from Sharpe. Sharpe's attorney, Lanny Davis, firmly denies the allegations. The statement described that the lawsuit is a shakedown attempt and claimed that the relationship between the woman and Sharpe was consensual. Davis claims that the accuser sent sexually explicit text messages that show a broader pattern of graphic sexual communications initiated by the accuser. According to the statement, the evidence paints a clear picture that this was consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios. The plaintiff is requesting $50 million in damages of part of the lawsuit. She is being represented, fellas, by Tony Busby, a high-profile lawyer based in Houston who was also representing the clients against Diddy and NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct. This is a lot going on.
Shannon done made somebody mad.
I was going, yeah. What's going on, Eric? What's up, yo?
I was 50-50 till you got to the end.
Yeah.
I mean, when you said the lawyer, bro, Shannon done made somebody mad. This ain't no shakedown. This a whole nother level. 50 mil, bro.
Yeah.
This is something different. He done made somebody. He didn't say yes. What he was probably supposed to say no.
Well, she won $50 million. This is just he's doing a deal. Actually, Shannon is actually in the middle of a deal right now to receive $100 million for his podcast. So this is happening in the middle of him supposed to be receiving $100 million, and now he's being accused of SA.
Whoa.
That's why you can't be out here doing it with everybody. You know, you gotta stick to your one and two.
I ain't finna even let you get away with that one, John. Wait a minute though. We gotta paint this scenario, right? Because I'm still 50-50. But it don't matter. If that's the case, then you literally gotta stay all the way to yourself when you get to a certain level. You can't be with nobody. Because how many now we know a lot of people, you know, they got their own preferences with they sexual life, right? But Israel, if you think about it, this could be anybody that do it because money is universal. Money don't have a thing to where only certain people can spend it. So it almost feels like you can't be with nobody once you hit a certain plateau. I mean, unless you marry. At that point,
he should have been married. That's his fault. He ain't married, and he out here promiscuous like that. You a walking target.
He should have got married. Once these big deals came, my opinion, he should have got married. Because these 100 mil? Oh my God. Go ahead. What y'all think? What you was gonna say, Israel? I just don't feel like this one. I can't feel like this one was a pick type situation. Because
it's crazy, man. Because it's like at that point, you got to be real selective as to who you with, and you got to be real intentional with what's going on. Like y'all in a relationship or you not. So you know that this ain't statutory or it ain't rape, and this you in a relationship or you not. Now if it's gray areas, then you in the gray area, you gonna risk yourself for stuff like this that's coming up now. But if he was married, he wouldn't have to do this. But if you
No, but
got
if he was
money and you
married, she could just
promiscuous like
divorce him.
that,
It is
nah,
happening, like
I
I
mean,
said, fellas, in a time of him negotiating with BET for
yeah.
100 million
But you
for Club
overlooking the
Shay Shay,
fact
his podcast.
he's still promiscuous. You out here like that and you getting money like that? Of course.
But even if
Why
he
not?
marry her, all she got to do is divorce him.
Well, if you married, you already got it in the bag. If
How
you
many
married
how
and the
many how
treaty
many
right,
women how many women in the past 4-5 years that I married to men that are multi-millionaires been leaving their husbands? It's a bag.
well, I'm
That's why
sure
I
if
say it feel
it was
like money.
something wrong.
There's something weird going on because the money don't make the money. It's like you almost got to follow the money. It sounds like a shakedown is what it sounds like to me. Like just like Solomon was saying with Pope Francis, these numbers ain't happening for no reason. It's a reason it's happening around this time. Now what happened? Now let's think about it, fellas. What happened to Stephen A. Smith when he signed that $100 million contract? If Stephen A. Smith would have raised a hand to LeBron, his career would be over. So he was able to get past it. Now it looked like, okay, they say, all right, we finna move on to the next. Let's see what we got. Remember, they even had the rumors coming up about Shaq was trying to look something up on Shannon Sharpe. So we know we dealing with entertainment, and entertainment gets weird. Sports is entertainment. It is still Hollywood, just all over the country. So we don't know what's really going on. But I mean, this crazy. That's crazy. This breaking news to me as well, as y'all can see.
Yeah, my take on this is I'm seeing what's going on. Okay, they literally just announced, I think last week, maybe Wednesday, Thursday. It was like late news, like towards the weekend, that Shannon Sharpe was like in negotiation talks and contracts to receive $100 million for his Club Shay Shay podcast. These podcasts be blowing up to the point where they be getting these millions for sure. So I seen that. Okay, I said, okay, good for him, because he does have like a lot of good guests. The whole setup is really professional and everything like that. So now, so from that announcement to now, this announcement on Monday, few days after, like this is crazy. A few days after he's talking about being a wealthy black man, he's being accused of something of sexual misconduct. This is crazy. I don't know what to believe. I'm not saying she's lying, you know what
Well,
I'm
we'll
saying,
see
but
in court.
yeah, we'll see
We
in
gonna see.
court.
It's
But
different. Yeah.
I can't help but be like, well, this is very coincidental that is happening now after such a huge contract is on the table for him. That's
It
actually
is.
blowing away his career earnings as a professional football player. So now that this black man is trying to level up to the next level, he then already did a couple of questionable things that they like to say about that they do in Hollywood when it comes to these, sex tapes or whatever. He did expose himself, not him on camera, but that whole situation when it comes to the Instagram of him, not knowing that if he went live and all that stuff, the whole speculation, the whole thing about that, right? I just believe that all of this is just all of a sudden just so coincidental. I don't understand why now this is something to be said. And then you're asking for, so he got $100 million on the table and you're asking for half of it. You're asking for $50 million. And then and what throws me off, and this is why I say this, you gotta pay attention to Holly Weird. What throws me off is that the lawyer that she has is the same lawyer that's going after Diddy and one of the NFL players that did get in trouble for sexual misconduct too, the quarterback Deshaun Watson. And I think that 50 million, I think it's that high because of the lawyer that she got.
Yeah, and then also too, they always gonna start high because if it's a settlement, it'll work his way down. I don't think he gonna settle, especially if he got some kind of text messages. This is why I do like the digital age in some way. It's a little different because text messages is an open and closed case. There
Yeah.
are so many females that love that type of stuff, and if they see that she engaged in it constantly, it's gonna be like if he really stand up against a jury, which if it had to, that would be the last thing. If he really needed it, he'll stand up in front of a jury and they'll judge it. I don't think it'll be something to where it'll be, oh, this is like Diddy. This is nothing like Diddy.
Yeah.
This is nothing like Diddy. And I'm a little pissed off because this is why we have to understand no matter how much money you get, there's still gonna be a target on you. Now a lot of people say, oh well, it ain't a black thing. I don't care if it's a black, purple, or it's the money. Cause see, we starting to get money. Now if he would have went broke, we wouldn't be talking about this. If Cat Williams would have went broke, we would have never talked about Cat Williams. So there does seem to be some pattern when they don't go broke. And then let's also be honest. He could have did a lot of stuff with his money, even stuff that ain't really all that honest. Being a broadcaster, who is you hurting? You talking stuff all day long. They've been talking stuff for years. But now it's not as controlled because you got this independent market and his podcast and also to the show he does with Ocho Cinco, a very successful show. But I feel he made somebody mad, man. Solomon, I don't know, bro.
You just made me think of a question. So do you think that this is backlash from the whole Cat Williams interview he did last year in
I wouldn't be
January?
surprised. His platform is more powerful than what people really think. And it's kind of dangerous when you get that strong. When you dropping videos and getting that many millions easily, and you're able to have conversations like that, it's not so much Shannon is the danger. It's the aura that he creates, like Joe Rogan did. Now Joe Rogan is a little different. They still tried to pin stuff on him. They still tried to pull him here, pull him there, but he's able to navigate it enough to where he stays out of trouble, right? And he still got lawsuits and stuff going on. That's just what happens when you get money. But I think Shannon is kind of dangerous in that sense because why are these people opening up, feel so comfortable opening up on your show? And you getting rich from it too. So you only gonna keep growing. So you gonna keep exposing things. And too many pieces start adding up, especially in this entertainment world when it comes to black people. They doing it right now with No Jumper. All the exploring Adam 22 doing with all the black folks. All of this stuff is being talked about. But that's why I feel like if Shannon had to stand with again a jury of his peers, I don't really think he'll have too much to worry about. Especially if there's no real evidence showing like he really like crazy like that. Like now, stuff do like that. It does happen though. So she could still be telling the truth. But she would have to prove it before I would believe it. Because I'm not just believing something just because you said it. If that's the case, we can line up a whole bunch of women probably that he done been with that's going, I mean, come on. She got to be able to prove that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm just really upset that it's coming out at this time of like once he finally like where he set, like he was set, but like him actually now going to that part of his career after football, after the surgeries, after this is, him going and his older life, his second part of his life where he's going into the sunset and he's actually legacy building for his family. That 100 million could have definitely helped, his daughters and their wherever grandkids he might have in the future. That would have set the family up really nicely. Not saying he wasn't set up good at first, but something that was going to eclipse his NFL earnings. Because during the time he played, they weren't getting those big contracts like that. So I just feel a little bad that it's happening for him in this type of situation. And like I say, I'm not going to say that the woman is lying or not, because that's not where I'm going to be put in the situation to say if somebody's lying, because we have to just get to the facts. Let's get to court and let's see actually what happened. I want to know let's get the facts together. Let's get the truth out here because this is a bad look for Shannon Sharpe and his podcast Club Shay Shay. I want to know if he's gonna actually do nightcap tonight.
He probably will. He probably gonna address it.
I don't think he should. His
Nah,
lawyer should tell him don't do that.
No. Sometimes though, nowadays, but what have we learned? Let's think about Kevin Hart's situation.
Mm-hmm.
See, Kevin Hart dodged this too. Y'all remember? Some entertainers dodge it. And you either gotta fall on the sword, especially if you was wrong, or you gotta come out and be able to immediately show yourself and call yourself innocent. Because we live in our generation. We don't play that whole hush hush thing. We want to know what you think because everything is so accessible. So how in the world are you able to talk this much? But when something like this happens, you can't talk. To our generation, that make you feel like you're guilty. That's what we dealt with kind of with Diddy, right? Then Diddy came out with this BS apology talking about, no, you only apologize because the video came out. So that showed us you only take accountability when you get caught. So now we know how Diddy is. So when everything else happened, it wasn't that hard to see it because he showed us something. Shannon's situation a little different. Even when that video came out, he took accountability for it. He talking about, I know my mom. Now, let's say it was all staged. I still think he going to say something, though, because it seems like when stuff like this happened, he tried to get on top of it as soon as possible. And we also got to remember, too, if he do say something, he want to get that bag. This might be the last bag he get. That's a big one. So he like, I ain't gonna let other people capitalize off my own situation. He gonna capitalize off of it and do another million views when they say Shannon Sharpe reacted to this. Bro, you know how it is nowadays. It's a whole nother world with the media game.
I mean, I would say not to, only because you're going to court for this. So your lawyer would tell you just be quiet so we can win this case. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how I would say. I would just say if he was to mention it, it was to be saying like, everything's gonna come out when it needs to. The truth will be told, and then I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, he might throw in there though, but all the allegations are untrue. He probably ain't gonna go into it deep. I feel you though. I feel you because you don't want to sabotage your own case.
Exactly. You gonna because as soon as they see or hear that you didn't said something online, court gonna try to use it. That's what they was doing with the whole Young Thug case. Like they was going online for everything. Oh, this ain't you with these people. This ain't the person that gangbang and and this and this. They was doing all that for the Young Thug case. They was going on internet for everything.
Y'all want to hear his slang? Young Thug slang? Oh, snap. Hold up. I got to find it. I took a whole screenshot. So for when they
why is this thing doing this?
Can you hear me?
Hell?
Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead.
All right. So when they had oh, here we go. Is that it? Yeah. So Young Thug shared the meaning of his slang, right? So speaking of Young Thug, so you said they was going through everything. So I got some acronyms for his raps when he was in his rap. And when he was saying swag meant someone who admires God. YSL, young soldiers of the Lord. Slat, showing love all the time. Op, overly positive pal. Slime, seeing Lord in me every day. Gang, going above normal guys. Glock, guardian lives, overcoming challenges. His slang was crazy. It had me going, like I was dying laughing, especially when they first said, now whether or not these acronyms are true or he just quick on his feet, I was like, yo, you gotta let this man go. It was like, yo, his name's Young Thug. Young Thug, truly humble under God. I'm like, man. The whole thing was common.
Well, he said that's what it meant when he first came out though.
Yeah.
He said that Thug thing was truly humble under God.
Yeah, truly humble under God. Whether it is or if it wasn't. And people forgot.
But still, he quick on his feet like that. I'm like, yo, you gotta let this man go. This man, he deserved to go. Think
Well,
quick on
like I
his feet.
say, when it comes to the whole Shannon Sharpe thing, bro, this comes at a most horrible time because it just looks so weird. It
They
just
say
looks so weird because this
every
is
level is new
what this
devils, man.
2025. This
Every
2025, they weren't dealing with each other. At first in 2023, they both moved to Nevada to hang out and be with each other. That was his little you dig. So it's like you can't have little your digs no more, man. They gonna say
man.
that you didn't
Now
touch
when you
them.
get that rich,
Look, when you happy, you're happy. When it goes south, nah. That now it's bad. Everything you did was bad.
Man,
the game is changing, player. I'm just saying, fellas, it's a little different now. It almost feel like the more money you have, it's the target on your back nowadays is so different. And this is why I'm like, I really want a lot of us as black people to we need to enjoy entertainment, but we need to look at different avenues as well to make our money. You know, it's problems in all things, but we need to. I don't want us just to always be focusing on entertainment because it comes with so much of a sacrifice that they want for you. They don't want you to figure out how to go, get your own mining company or your own carpeting company and all. They don't. That's not dirty money. It don't get weird when you really on that brick and mortar type stuff, which is why I think they always trying to push us out of that type of stuff. And they'll give us money to go run around on the field. They'll give us money to tap dance on the stage. And don't get me wrong, entertainment is needed. Entertainment is what keeps the common worker sane, so that it's not just work, home, you hear your kids crying. You need a little football every now and then to let you relax. You need some basketball. You need to hear your favorite singer or go to a concert. But so many times nowadays, like Solomon said, it's 2025. They done got that stuff so wrapped up and so dirty. It really makes you just want to kind of move away from it, or do like I hope they do eventually, and just start a whole new league or a whole new environment when it comes to that stuff. Because it just sound a little funny now. It just like Solomon said, it sound crazy, it sound weird timing. But I better write some books like Solomon doing.
hold up.
Absolutely. Write some.
Y'all better
Start
write
a
some books.
business.
Hey, what right now?
I'm working on something.
Right now, what we tell y'all in the beginning, ain't everybody supposed to be looking for the opportunity right now. Y'all see what's going on with the market and all that. Things are low. We ain't even supposed to be panicking. I don't understand how you panicking when you already ain't really had much anyway. That's a whole nother conversation. Right now, it's time to start and find out what you want to buy. So when it shoot back up, yeah, you got a little something for the babies.
Hmm. That part.
That is
Man.
crazy.
Well, from one person uh with allegations to another one. This person, this person, this person said that he actually did it though. Oh man. All right, family. We got to talk about Karmelo Anthony, not the basketball player. Not the basketball player. So I got to make sure that we differentiate which Karmelo this is. Okay. All right. So police said, this is coming from CBS News. Police said a student from um, Sentinel High School in Fresco, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, stabbed Austin Metcalf, another 17-year-old junior at Memorial High School in Fresco, in the chest during a fight. An arrest report said that Anthony told a school resource officer that Metcalf put his hands on him after the officer mentioned to others that he had the alleged suspect in custody. Anthony said, "I'm not alleged. I did it. Witnesses told police that Anthony was sitting under the Memorial High School tent and was told to leave. Anthony allegedly told Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens," according to the arrest warrant affidavit. One witness told police that Metcalf then pushed Anthony to get him out of the tent. Anthony then reached into a bag and stabbed Metcalf. Anthony was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. This was on April 2nd. Two teenagers. He's pleading that it was self-defense. Fellas, what we want to talk about, how y'all want to approach this whole conversation with this young black man that now maybe he's facing probably 25 to life.
Yeah, I don't like this situation. It's a few things I don't like that kind of really tick me off. One, with our people, especially people who, you know, I don't know, it's like they try to tie so many things into, like, political things into stuff that's going on. But, you know, all three of us are men now, but at one point we were young men. We definitely all were in high school. Some of us were ones that didn't get bothered. Others were got bothered. I was one of the ones that got bothered, okay? So I got to talk about this because...
Yeah, that young man crashed out.
Yeah, he crashed out. And this is my thing. When we dealing with adults, and I heard a lot of different people's opinions on it about, well, he should have de-escalated, and our young people don't know how to de-escalate situations. In some ways, you could be correct. But now let's go a deep dive into the community and the situation and the population, the past histories. This was already a place that was kind of known to be like, it ain't Chicago, it ain't New York, where black and white folks are running down the street holding their hands with each other. This wasn't one of them type of cities. They weren't known for that. It was gonna be. It's always been a little tension. So you got this white boy come up, and now he approaches this young man in his space that he is already occupying. I am the father of Ma'at. Let's walk into the law room. Number one problem: why are you approaching him in the space he has been occupying, and he ain't bothering nobody? Regardless if he had the knife or not is a whole nother conversation here. We ain't got that. He ain't bothering nobody. He ain't threatening nobody. If we remember a few months ago, there was a black man that went on to the train, and they say he was threatening people. So that's why the white boy was able to put him in a chokehold and kill him, right? Well, this ain't that situation. This black man didn't walk into a train. He ain't asked for no food. He ain't bother nobody. So we justified it then. So hold on. We got to keep that same energy. Now it's the other way around. This black man was just like all the people that was on the train, minding his business. And these people want to come over and they want to bother him. And he gave them a verbal warning, letting them know, first off, I ain't in the state of mind right now to deal with this. Whether we deal with this every now and then, whether this is something y'all doing today, and I just don't feel this is not the day to do it. So you touch me, you're going to find out. Now we know in the great in the great country of the United States of America, when you touch somebody, that is assault. I don't care what you say after that.
That said, somebody assault. Touch me, Lord. Somebody
Especially
touch me.
When they tell you that I don't want to be touched. That if you touch me, we're going to have a problem, and you still touch them. I don't want to hear nothing about that de-escalation stuff now. Because like I said, when that black man got on that train and he made them white folks and them Asian folks feel scared, and that white boy took him down and took his life, y'all ain't had no problem. Right? I ain't mad at you. I ain't even mad at you. But let's keep that same type of energy now that we dealing in this situation. And this is a young boy. Don't really got no problems. He probably got a few friends that do it. They think they some gangbangers, and they come on, he in high school, bro. Everybody thought they was a gangbanger in high school. You ain't no real gangbanger in high school, especially in no country town like he from.
Well, I don't think that's the case here. I just think that because they
It's
was at a
not, but
track
I'm
meet.
saying
Yeah, they was
no,
at a track
it's not
meet.
the case. But I'm saying that because I'm ruling out all of the BS that our people gonna be quick to say. Because it's always this, oh, the youth be this. This ain't one of them YN type situations. You have to
Yeah.
know how to differentiate. You cannot get law and you cannot master the art of ma'at if you cannot differentiate situations. And I've seen more of our people going in on, well, this is what we talk about. Shut up. Wait, let's get to court first. Why y'all so quick? And then he supposed to be one of ours, but y'all so quick to throw him under the gutter. Am I saying it's right that he stabbed the boy? Absolutely not. But it also wasn't right when they touched that boy. That's what we really need to be focused on. When they put their hands on him, they broke the law. And that's just what it is. We ain't make the law. We ain't had nothing to do with it. But that's how y'all wrote this law to be set up. So just like I said, and that other black dude who y'all killed, he ain't touched nobody. He was up making everybody scared. He still was murdered. And you see, it just then floated on the way.
Everybody's scared of black.
Everybody just went back to Kumbaya. No, so I'm mad. I'm pissed off. Because black people need to be just as upset as they was with the last situation. What's wrong with these people, man? Let the court come out and let's see what's really going on. But I'm gonna rock with him with the self-defense because he's not supposed to have no weapons on campus. But I don't care if he had a pencil. When somebody telling you, hey, don't touch me, you're gonna find out. In America, they did that. They set the law up for a reason. Y'all know this. They set it up for a reason to where when you give a verbal warning, you are setting the plateau so there's no misunderstanding. Because sometimes people think you playing, or sometimes people think stuff not as big. And they have to eventually realize that in the Supreme Court over years with multiple cases like this. But in situations like this is why it was set to where it is an assault if you put your hands on somebody. You can't just go around putting your hands on people. That's what I would teach my children. And if somebody put their hands on you, you defend yourself.
That part.
So that's my point.
So what you got to say about this whole situation, Israel?
Man, people don't take people serious all the time. And I mean, just like what Lou said, you know, you give people verbal warnings and people act like they don't understand, and then just like, yo, he let them know. And then half the time the teachers be seeing it go on, they let it go on. The student then told the teacher. Now if he doing all the precautions to avoid the situation, and in the situation they keep on poking the bear gonna go crazy. And they're like, hey, don't blame me because I didn't said this it's a whole record of me saying, hey, these people messing with me, this person messing with me, and then at the end of the day, all right, the only way I done tried to solve it, or I done tried to avoid it, I done tried to do it the nice way, now I gotta do it the hard way. Now I gotta put my hands, so I gotta lay them hands on them, lay them paws, gotta let them feel the wrath. Yeah. But hey, it's happening. It's a part of life. You know, life and death go hand in hand. You can't have the good without the bad. Somebody got to do it.
I was gonna say, you know, when they be telling people, you know, F around and find out.
Oh yeah.
They F around and found out after he told them, you know, if you touch me, you know, it's gonna be something to happen. And I believe that once that clear warning was said, I believe, okay, enough for the teenage games. Because we all been in high school. We all have been teenage boys before, so we know how it go. We know that, you know, people testing your gangster, people testing your manhood. You know what I'm saying? They from different schools. They were at a track meet. One Austin Metcalf is a football player. I don't know exactly what Karmelo Anthony does, but you know, they both high school. This is a mutual thing. I just wish and shoulda, woulda, couldas don't exist in this scenario. It is what happened. I just wish he didn't have to stab anybody, because I mean, this happened in the state of Texas. So I don't know how that's, you know, how they're gonna do what they're gonna do when it comes to the whole, you know, first degree murder is a serious charge. Serious charge. So I mean, he did admit, he also admitted, I wish he didn't talk either, but he did admit that he did it. He did say basically what his defense was going to be. I don't know why he talked, but he told the officers self-defense. He told the officers he did it. But it's like, no, be quiet until you get a lawyer. Be quiet. I don't know. Like literally, we had to be smarter.
Yeah, but I mean, he is a young boy.
He's a young kid, but they're charging him as an adult.
Bro.
And then also, what was the other part? He the conversation of him having a knife in the school at a track meet or even whatever. It wasn't even his school. Shouldn't have. I understand he probably had it for his own safety. You know, going to different schools and stuff like that. I understand that too. Like I grew up on the south side of Chicago, you know, when it was fights at basketball games after, you know what I'm saying, when people were sore losers and stuff like that. So I definitely understand the protection part. I just wish he just never used it. I wish he was able to get that conversation. It's just another young black boy's life is now hanging in a balance because of a decision that he made, because of another teenage boy coming to flex and bully and do whatever, you know, that they were doing. I don't want to make this a race thing because a lot of people online are trying to make this a white and black thing. Oh, the white boy is messing with the black boy, and you know the white boy got stabbed.
You gotta
and
make it a race thing. That's what's happening, man. That's what's happening.
yeah, I'm not trying to make it that. I'm just trying to
Now, I
make
don't
it
even
as
think it's
to.
that. It sounded like he was bullied because why would your daddy come out and say that? Sound like your daddy knew you already was a piece of. See, that's why I'm saying. Let's be real. Ain't nobody tell his daddy to come out and say this. You know your son was a problem. That's my thing. And then it's jokers like Charleston White. Now, this is what's so ironic with me. Charleston White made a very, very good point. He said we have a problem with de-escalating, and I agree with him on that. That is something that we as black people do have to work on. Okay, de-escalating situations. But this is the issue I got with Charleston White, the way he came at it, because he came at Karmelo Anthony like, well, you should have learned this, and bullying builds character, and you shouldn't have went for a knife. You should. True, you can say all that sounds good when you sitting on a plush couch during the interview that you didn't got paid $30,000-$40,000. But the problem I got with Charleston White is the moment a Negro come after you, you grab your pepper spray. Now let's just say hypothetically you pepper spray somebody in the eye, they highly allergic to it, and then they die, and now they trying to get you to court. We supposed to be right there having your back too, saying, no, hold on, wait, they came at Charleston the wrong way. And everybody know he protect himself. So why is it convenient for you to do it? Do I agree he should have had the knife? Absolutely not. But this could have ended a whole bunch of ways to where it was bad. The knife just adds sprinkles on it because it's a worse type of weapon. You could have fought the dude, he hit his head, he bust his head, went into a coma and died. That's still murder. It's not the same degree. So the knife is making it more of a thing because you weren't supposed to have it in the first place. And then for all the silly Negroes, I got to say something else too. Because boy, they was pissing me off about this subject. Y'all got mad when the boy got bonded out.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. Yeah,
what is you mad at?
I was gonna get to that. Yeah, it was at first at $1 million, and the judge lowered it to $250,000.
Right. Oh, and then they got mad at the judge. But watch this though. Let me show you how fickle we are as people. These the same people that said, "Oh, well, y'all was wrong when they went out there and they destroyed and they looted and they riot," but they didn't do that this time. They did it like how the white folks do it. That's how the white and the Jews do it. They figure out all that other stuff in court later, but you finna get up out of there. So the fact that y'all got the nerve to be mad at a black woman judge for doing her right, not only as a judge, because it's her job to do that, but she's also a black woman, and so it's also her job to look out for us in some form of capacity. And she did it in a legal way. Y'all mad because it's legal? You mad because they ain't going and tearing up the streets? Y'all glorify chaos, but you get mad at order. That was how we supposed to do it as black people. Put the money together to get the boy out of jail. It ain't the fact that if he's guilty or not, he's still a boy. He ain't got no reason being in there. Crazy, bro. This is why I say, our people, something is going on. It ain't even like that. We the worst ones now. Y'all mad at the judge. They talking about Solomon Ears, they talking about something. They need to take their judge down because why would she do that? It's her job.
Not gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie, that was pretty surprising. When it comes to murder cases, they usually don't give you bail
If
like
he
that.
was
They don't.
30, they wouldn't have. He ain't
Yeah.
even 18.
Yeah.
If he was
No
30, they
record.
would have gave him
He
life.
has no prior convictions. He has
Yeah.
nothing. He's a boy. He ain't even got bad grades. So why have it at $1 million? And it was clearly something that he would not do again if he had the option to do it, because you saw, they said it in the case. They saw it with the report. He was distraught, shaking. This ain't somebody that's a gangbanger member of 3. And like I said, but y'all let everybody come in here over the border who have the intention on killing. The little girl in Georgia got mauled. Oh, y'all shouldn't be doing that. Y'all deporting people. Shut up. That's one of ours. But y'all okay with them doing it, and they're gangbang. The boy ain't no gangbang. He probably ain't even got no tattoo on his body. Probably don't been just going through puberty. Yeah, lower that thing down because 200,000 still is a decent amount. That's still a challenge.
Yeah, that was a lot too. That because you got to pay at least 25 bands.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it was at $1 million. I personally believe my brothers, he would have still been, somebody would have came up with $1 million. And that's how I want black people to start moving. Enough with tearing up your own stuff. When you disagree, we the ones that created law and order. How y'all mad that now that's what we doing? That's how the court work. And if his family ain't got it, the people who need to be given the money is the black folks, because he is ours. The Jews do it. The Chinese people do it. The Indian people do it. But we ain't supposed to do it. We supposed to go out and tear up the city. Man, bro, I got something for anybody to say, because that's crazy. Because I ain't going to tell a lot of people that was right. But I'm going to definitely tell them, you get your money together if you believe he was innocent. You at least get the boy home. You put your money where your mouth is, and let's see what happened in court. Man, that got me riled up, bro. But I'm done with it. I'm done. It's crazy, y'all, man. We got to do better.
I agree with you. I'm on the same type of time. I don't want this young man to lose his life because of what has happened and transpired. I want this to be a situation where things will work out for the best. I just wish that, man, I just wish it didn't happen the way it did. He's 17 years old, stabbing. Like I say, I just wish he didn't have the knife.
What do you think he should have did? What do you think
having a weapon?
How do you think he should be punished? What do you think his reprimand should be?
That's a hard question to answer.
You got two spectrums here. You got somebody who lost their son, and you got somebody who's retaliated from what's been going on. So like something has to be done.
I don't want what I'm saying is I don't want him to get 25 years. That's what I don't want. He's gonna have to some type of consequence, but I don't want him to spend 25 years of his young life in jail.
Yeah, he's gonna come back out 42, 52? For 17 was 25.
While what's his name walking free, eating food with his family.
Ooh.
Dude,
you talking about George? You talking about George Zimmerman?
No, I ain't even went that far back, bro.
Oh, okay, because man, I'm still mad at that one.
Dude on the train choked that man out and held that position, bro. Talking about I was scared for their safety, bro. Dude is limp, bro. But he get to eat with his family, right? I ain't buying it, bro.
What color was he? He was white, right?
White man. He was a white man.
All right then. When you white, you got white privilege. That's black and white.
But
it's bright as
what
day.
I'm saying. If our people, for a lack of understanding, I believe we starting to get the understanding.
Now, if it was reversed,
when our people got that money together, we didn't go riot, right? Because that's usually what we do. We hit the streets and test up, right? But that ain't happening this time. I want our generation to get out of that BS. Put your money up like everybody else do in situations like this. I'm not saying that you believe him. The court gonna do what the court do. And then, but you are supposed to give him the best opportunity as a people. When, like I say, when the Jews come together, don't nobody get mad. Man, they be having pots for stuff like this. Y'all remember when them Jewish people was hopping up out of the subway cities in New York? Did y'all look at the cases for that? Did y'all find out how much money they have for lawyers for that? All of them ain't rich, but they come from a set. And this is how this is how the United States is built. There are different sets. Our people got to come on with it. We got to come on with it. Even if he was like, all right, like Solomon said, he had to serve a little time. Because there is got to be some kind of consequence. It ain't like we want this to be normal. But there also got to be some kind of understanding for somebody saying, hey, I'm not bothering nobody. And if that man who choked that man out on the train can eat with his family, and he can go and have kids, and he gonna have a story, he probably done made some money off of this. And he was a grown man, Marine, or an Army-based veteran. You telling me the little boy who made a mistake? It's crazy to me, man. That's not my act. My act wasn't designed that way. It was designed so that stuff like this don't happen. But hey, we'll see.
Family, we gonna keep up, of course, with this situation, just like the others in the past. We gonna keep a close eye on this case, and we gonna keep reporting and see what's going on with that. As we continue, or as it continues to develop. Real quick before I get to ask the Pharaohs, we haven't had any basketball talk, but they're in the playoffs. The playoffs just started, which I just found out about. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, why nobody's watching the NBA, but I haven't had no real reports on the NBA besides what happened with Anthony Edwards. Oh, but Ja Morant, the point guard for the the Grizzlies. So he does this celebration, right? Like, first of all, he was one of the ones that got in trouble. Like either last year, he got suspended for showing a flashing a gun online. I guess it's part of their policy and a contract of image or whatever, where basketball players can't show certain things. I don't know what their contracts be saying. I need to actually. Can somebody email me standard NBA contract? I want to read that over and what they actually put in these contracts for what basketball players can and can't do. But anyway, Ja Morant got suspended, I think last year or the year before that, because he was flashing guns, playing around with his homeboys, just ain't got nothing to do with basketball. It was just him on his own private time. But Ja Morant got fined, I think $50,000 for doing a gun celebration. At the Golden State Warriors, where I think they lost that game too. But so that I guess they're cracking down. The NBA commissioner is cracking down on certain type of gestures, like the NFL does with some of their celebrations and stuff that they do in the end zone. Fellas, do you think, is it fair or not for him to get fined $50,000 just by doing this? Like, they're on the court, they're playing around, they're shooting around, you know what I'm saying? So they're shooting a basketball. So it's like, is that now he changed his celebration to now he throws a grenade. He throws a grenade at the crowd and it does this.
This man's, it's funny, it's comical, but no, I don't think they should get fined. I mean, it's like you throwing away they freedom of speech per se, because you ain't. If you was on the street, you was playing street ball or something like that. You outside, you gonna talk trash. You gonna do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you in the NBA, you ain't really talking. You just doing whatever you playing on it. But they should make it more verbal. They should make it more where it's like, yo, you throwing a grade or you throwing an alley hoop. And more little verbal trash talking on the court, like that's how it used to be. The problem with the world today, it has gotten too desensitized, too sensitive to where every little thing it puts somebody feeling some type of way. We're like, oh, you made me feel unsafe because you was throwing a grenade. I ducked. He ain't had nothing in his hand. Yeah, it's wild. People are crazy.
I, hey, I agree with you, Israel. I think that you hit a good point saying we got a little sensitized because if y'all remember, like we weren't even alive, so you can't really remember. But we know from like just seeing old school movies and like them black and white pictures with the cowboys, and you remember like they'll have the play gun, and they'll shoot the gun, you go you act like you got like we used to just like there is something going on, and I think the commission, everybody don't want to get sued. That's really what it comes to. You don't want a snowball to turn into something.
I don't think that's a suing. I
No,
don't think you get sued
no, but yes, you can.
for that.
I'm gonna show
Like
you how.
one player
No,
just
I'm gonna show you. No, it go deeper than that. So let's say Ja Morant, he started doing it right. Then there's an altercation that happened, and that altercation, somebody somehow got a gun. They gonna find some way to blame the NBA because that's who got all the money. Somebody gets shot. Somebody got shot in the arm. They paralyzed. They going after the NBA because y'all they got crazy and they only bringing guns because now all the players are doing. So I think that's really what they think about it in the long run, and they just try to nip it out. But I'm not too mad about the fine because it's a reason why you're in the NBA and you're not at the street part. There are a lot of people who play way better than the NBA players who play up the street. But there is a certain image that comes with being a professional. You don't get you what they used to always say, anybody could knock Floyd Mayweather out. There's a lot of people in your hood who got a real good, nice hook, but they not gonna sell tickets the way Floyd Mayweather gonna sell tickets if he was fighting you, right? He gonna be the main attraction. I believe that's how the NBA is looking at it. Like, come on, I get where you coming from, but I agree with Israel too. I think it would make the game a little bit more interesting because, like you said, ain't nobody really watching it anyway. It's boring nowadays. They don't even really keep rivals up good. People be switching teams so quick. You can't even keep a good right. You can't even get mad at nobody because the same team you was mad at, your favorite player, and got switched over there. So,
Right.
I don't know. Maybe everything becoming a little soft and timid now.
Absolutely. That's what's going on now, man. I'm going to say this and I'm going to have to cut out. So, I mean, if they let people be who they are and show their personalities, they would probably have more people watching, more people pulling up, and more people showing up. So, that's my 2 cents, but I got to head out. I gotta finish what I got going on here.
all right now.
Peace, Israel.
They think he had a stroke. Oh, there we go.
He toned on.
Well, so I wanted to just give a little of what's going on for our people who loves the sports. First round of the playoffs has started. Game ones have started. You got the Bucks and the Pacers. They're doing their matchup, their first round matchup, and the Milwaukee Bucks is down 0-1. So the Indiana Pacers is up 1-0 on that series. You got the Denver Nuggets versus the Clippers. Denver is up 1-0 in that series. You have the Knicks versus the Pacers. I don't even know how the Pacers made it to the playoffs. But
You talking about the Indiana?
the Pistons. Sorry,
I was gonna say, what you
Knicks
mean?
versus the Pistons. The Detroit Pistons. Yeah, Detroit Pistons. They're down in their series against the New York Knicks. They're up 1-0. You got the Timberwolves. Now, this is a series I actually want to watch. You got the Timberwolves versus the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Timberwolves blew them out game one. So they up 1-0 against the Lakers. But like Shannon Sharpe say, Lakers in 5. No, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be true or not, but yeah. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies, like I said, with Ja Morant and everybody. The Thunder blew them out 131-80. So they're up 1-0. You have the Boston Celtics versus the Magic. They're up. Boston Celtics is up 1-0. You have the Cavaliers versus the Heat. The Cavaliers is up 1-0. I think they should win that series. You have the Golden State Warriors versus the Rockets, and the Warriors are up 1-0. So that's for our NBA fans out there. That is the latest of the NBA. Playoffs have started. Game 1 winners. So y'all pay attention to game 2s. That's gonna start tonight.
Man, y'all know what I remember telling me. We said our predictions. I'm looking at OKC or Boston. Take this one all the way.
All the
I
way.
mean, all the way. And
NBA
to be
playoffs
honest,
are NBA playoffs are very unpredictable. I like to watch them because you got to win at least 4 times.
right?
So,
but hold on though. Come on, look, what you say? They won by 50. When they put you up against OKC in around the first round, they already know you ain't going that far.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
They known for even some of the best
131
teams.
to 80 is crazy,
bro. But hold on, they known for some of the best teams to still have a lead of about 20 points at the end of the game. So 50 ain't surprising when you talk about mediocre team that just barely made it in. Yeah, they know. Okay,
they mediocre. They in the middle. They in the middle because they not one of the worst teams.
Mediocre.
Memphis.
Medium,
They definitely
right there in the middle. Yeah, it ain't like it ain't OKC versus Boston first round. That's crazy. You're not even gonna do that. That ain't even good marketing strategy. You gotta climb that.
Well, no, that's because they in the West.
No, I'm just saying though, as an example, as far as ranking teams. Let's just say if it wasn't a West or East thing, it's just as far as their ranking, they're the higher rankings. So you got to knock off the little ones, get through it. But with OKC, they known for blowing people out. Right now, OKC is the number 1 ATS team in the entire league. Meaning, if you took $100 and you bet $100 on every single one of them games that they have played, you would be up by 80%. That is almost unheard of in the NBA. Them boys is crazy. They crazy. Between them and Boston, man. Then, like you said, I'm looking forward to the Celtics versus the Heat because I agree with you. I think they're gonna close that one out.
Yeah, Celtics versus the Magic. It was the Magic.
It was the Magic.
Orlando is still young and.
Yeah, I was gonna say they are young. They're a vibrant team though.
They're a good little team. But I mean, it's Boston. They just won the championship, so I don't expect them to lose to the Magic.
No, they're not.
I don't know. So if that happens, that's crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, it's time, family, for my favorite segment of the podcast, and it's called Ask the Pharaohs. Okay. And if you ever want to ask a question, if you're watching live, you can always hit us up in the comment section. But if you're not, you can always email us, okay, at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com, where we will look at your question and it can come live to the channel. All right. This first question. Now this is a question that I kind of picked out from that I seen kind of going through the social medias. And this question is, should women be judged by their past sexual partners, or is the man insecure?
Yes, you should. I believe. I mean, judge is a word. It's kind of hard to use that word, but I mean, it should be something taken accounted for because, as the famous saying go, women allowed access to sex, but men are allowed access to relationships. So if a man is going to eventually be expecting to make some kind of relationship out of what they're dealing with you, they should have some kind of idea of your past life and your past choices and the choices that you decided to make for them to be able to make a fair judgment. I don't think men are being insecure about it. I think it comes with the negotiation of a relationship when you're dealing with somebody very seriously like that. So I don't think it's nothing too long. As long as they don't come disrespectful. But it is ways in my mind to ask that question respectfully. You probably still gonna get cussed out, but it needs to be asked, in my opinion. If you're talking about taking somebody serious and really dating them, especially if you're looking towards marriage, yeah, you need to be asking them type of questions, my brother. I'm
Now, I'm gonna say, when it comes to the Coptic faith, we have a point. It's called sexual stimulus. Okay, so we understand that we have our reproductive organs, and what we do with our bodies. We have a having a healthy sexual appetite is perfectly fine. But I do need to know your past history. I don't care about the bodies per se, because we're not asking you how many bodies you have. Not in 2025, but if you are a person who are kind of loose with yourself, your temple, then that affects the current relationship that I'm gonna have with you, because you have a lot of spirits. You're gonna have a lot of spirits in you. You're gonna have a lot, even with men. Like this ain't a one-way street where we talk about just a woman cleaning her temple and her body. A man needs to clean himself as well. Spiritual baths are a thing. Like you really need to. There's times of abstinence where you need to just chill out and don't touch nobody. Okay. Yeah, your past, exactly how you're picking men, is important, because then I know how to deal with you. Because what if I need to come in, and not all men will admit this, but what if I need to come in and actually assist you on your journey to becoming your whole self? And that could be like, hey, you had a lot of different sexual encounters. How about with us, we're gonna take our time with it comes to that particular part of our relationship, because you have been so willy-nilly throwing it out there. I'm trying to be kind of respectful saying this, but you gotta have there's a certain type of discipline when it comes to sex that not only men need to have, women need to have too. Because I don't want to deal with a woman that just, I mean, she just everywhere. Can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, most men don't. This is why it is a valid question, because it plays a part into our natural nature, and you got to match your natural with your spiritual. But you never neglect your natural. Like, you don't neglect those things, because you can't, like, so many people do it all the time. They try to be so spiritual, but naturally you all messed up. You just as bad. Like, you know better than the person that is all natural and not that spiritual. Like, you just as bad. So I agree. It is something that needs to be like looked at. But again, men can do it in a way that's respectful. Honestly, I don't really think it's that big of a problem nowadays, because maybe we'll talk about it in another podcast. But man, it seems like this relationship thing nowadays is just a little crazy right now. A lot of the brothers, I'm still waiting. I've been waiting on one of the subscribers to send me something and prove me wrong. Man, these brothers ain't having no babies. Man, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm still looking for them. I kid y'all not. When I get riders, especially young guys that I can tell like under the age of 30, I don't care if I'm taking them 7 minutes up the street. If they start talking, I usually try to ask them if they have children. Because for some reason, I'm trying to prove myself wrong. The answer be nope. Nah, bro, I'm focused on my purpose. Or he'd be like, nah, bro, I'm just trying to lock in. I hear it so much now. I'd be like, man, like relationships are really not as big as it used to be. Like it almost seems like the brothers now are like, nah, man, I don't want to deal with that, or nah, I'm scared to deal with that, or I hear so many different stories, and I can understand. Because when I hear the guys that didn't been through some of that stuff, it do sound like a horror story sometimes. So maybe that's something we could talk about on another day.
All right. We got another question. This question comes from the Imperial Princess Joy. And her question basically was, do men date women for the time being, or why do men date women for the time being until they find their replacement? So like they just have a girlfriend sometimes just to, you know, mess with, and then till they finally get to the girlfriend that they actually want. So they have a situation. I ain't gonna say girlfriend, I'm gonna say a little situation. They have a little situation until they're ready to get a girlfriend. She's saying, why do men do that?
I believe for men, courting for us starts the moment we show any interest into you. So even if it may not be something serious, it's still courting. It's still some kind of thinking in the mind. But it also proves the fact that most men get bored. That's really what it boils down to. If they could,
She
they
gonna
would
lose her
have.
mind when she hear this.
Yeah, I know she gonna be mad at me. A lot of them gonna be mad at me, but it's the truth. Like I'm trying to tell you, like most men get bored. There, I forgot the comedian name. It was a comedian back in the day. He passed away, and he had a joke where he was saying, "Women, we don't want you really to be around us, but we like you there, if that makes sense." And I myself can attest to this. I've been somebody that, like, I lived with somebody. I had a whole family, so there would be days to where just hearing her presence throughout the house, whether she was cleaning or cooking, I mean, it just brought me so much joy. Until she would come in there and start bothering me. Then I'd be like, come on, I'm working. Could you leave me alone? I didn't mean no harm by it, but that is how our nature, we really are like that. We enjoy the female presence because it gives us a sense of completion in our environment. But it's necessary, and this is what I always say, it's necessary to know how to feed a man ego, because you'll end up becoming the person who he don't end up just throwing to the side. We like women that feed our ego. If you feed the ego the best, you're never really going to get thrown. You're usually going to become the wife. Usually the wife is the one that could feed the husband ego the best. Meaning what we said before many episodes ago. He'll think he right. You don't even believe he right, but he thinks he's right. And then there's peace in your house. That was usually the gift of the mother or the wife, her ability to tame the beast. Because you need your husband or your man to be a beast. He might have to protect you while you're walking out on the street. He might have to do, you don't know what he might have to. He might have to lay his life down in a minute because a dude talking crazy. So you don't need to suppress that beast, but with that beast comes consequences. And usually beasts don't stay occupied with one person that long, and they feel that they not like that. So men, usually, I speak from my own situation. We love
Hey
when y'all
Ruby.
around us. Hey Ruby, we love when y'all around us, and we do like having women as our company. So some men just kind of go through that stage more and more until they really find somebody that they really want to settle down with, and it usually don't come into their 30s. I still don't be understanding why most men usually was getting married in their 30s. That whole young man getting married thing is new. That is a new thing. And it don't really work that well because most men don't know what the heck they are until they about 35 or what they want to do. So around that time is where they really kind of lock in into who they are in society, and they stop running through girls, as they say, or they stop having all these different girlfriends and they really start settling down. It's a structure that's set up because that's the way this country is set up. For men, you can't just sit here and think, oh, just because I'm a man, I get to have a family and everybody gonna take care of me. It don't work that way. You and your family gonna be out there hungry, standing in that line like the pursuit of happiness. So you know what I'm saying? For real. So men will usually keep girlfriends around just to get through. They may not keep it serious, but maybe they focus on their career, or maybe they just still being young. But that don't mean that they do not enjoy a woman's presence, because any man gonna tell you ain't nothing like having women around you, especially when there's some kind of order and cooperation. Even if it's just one woman, I used to just have so much joy. I mean, she'd be in the kitchen cooking Solomon, bro. Just be doing stuff throughout the house, but
Nah,
it used to bring me joy. You
I
know what I
definitely
mean?
can relate to that
Yeah,
cooking in the
yeah,
kitchen and all that, making the house a home is definitely a thing.
man.
So but I'm gonna say, because she was coming from the aspect of like, don't play with people's emotions and stuff like that. And I get you. And she's like, well, why do men like whores and all this other stuff? Listen, okay. There's not in today's time, it's hard to find a wife. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's difficult. These women out here have turned into the most ratchetest versions of themselves, and they okay with it. It used to be a shame. Now it's accepted. Cause you got Sexy Red, and you got Cardi B, and you got all these other female rappers telling you that it is okay, like Suki, to do some wild, promiscuous things, and it's gonna be okay, and your man's gonna love you anyway. We like a woman to occupy our time and space sometimes, but our wife is who we really want to be around. Okay. And enjoy, not everybody is trying to take their time to be taught right and actually be a wife. They might feel like it's overrated. They might have their parents might have tarnished their whole outlook on what marriage could be. I'm going to say it's never okay or right to play with anybody's emotions, but a man usually knows when they what type of woman they have. If they got them a harlot, a little a little whatever, we know that's what that is, and we're gonna treat that accordingly. But if we have us a wife, we have us a girlfriend, we have us a woman, we know that we gotta act a certain way and be a certain way to keep that going as well. So I'm gonna say, yeah, we have some girls around, but we know we gonna be kicking it. We gonna be vibing until we get to our wife, and that's okay because what's the best advice? Date them all, sis, until you find you a husband, the one that's gonna step and have that pressure on you. Because you don't have to sleep with them, but you can definitely have a phone conversation or go get coffee to see if this man is a great suitor for you to be your husband.
Yeah. I mean, if the question was asked to me, like I was doing Uber one time, and it was like, well, what if your daughters were older?
All
What
right.
advice would you? My bad. Go ahead.
Wait, say that again.
No, I was gonna say somebody had asked me a question one time. It was like, what advice would you give your daughters if they was older, if they were trying to find a husband? And to me, it's a very simple thing. It's not as complicated as I think social media has made it to come out to be. There are a lot of good men that are looking for wives, but they are not the tatted up dude and the coolest guy. There are a lot of just hardworking, good, average men, and some of them make really good money that are just looking for a wife. And a lot of times, these are the men that are getting rejected. They're getting what they call it, the left swipe or the right, whatever, however that works. They getting the swipe that don't nobody want to be bothered, or they got it standing up on the wall. But I would tell my daughters to not judge the world at the way the world is looking right now. They're making it seem as if, the guy that's always in trouble is, and I get it because psychologically, the fear taking guy is usually more attractive. The one that's more of a rebel, women are psychologically like that. That's how they work because we also in a society where they want to see somebody who's willing to take risks. So us as men, we do have to work on bettering ourselves. But I would say change your market up on what you're looking for and where you looking for them at. Because there are some that will really surprise you. They ain't playing no games. They ready to have a family. They need someone to help them build their empire. And like I say, if you can feed their ego, that's my biggest thing with my daughters. If I can teach them, there's a healthy way to feed a man's ego. As crazy as it sounds, it is how God created us. When you know how, because we got to do it for you all too. We feed your ego differently. You have y'all, Solomon, they be like, does this skirt make me look fat? You may be like, nah, baby, you look beautiful. You always look beautiful to me. That's feeding your ego. We do it. We've been doing it for eons. But it's kind of weird now because social media is like, you're hearing our side of the story, like what we may want. And it kind of like, it ain't how it always used to be. So I would say find some men or find a environment of people that are serious about dating. Usually they're going to be in your older bracket. It always going to go back to that. Them 30s. For men, you find you a single man in their mid-30s, late 30s, early 40s, good, solid career, they ain't playing them games like them young dudes. The young dudes playing. Late 29, I'm 29. I know, they playing. They ain't about nothing for real, for real. Especially if they don't got no children and then no real responsibilities, they playing with you. Because they don't even know who they are yet. They ain't thinking about making you their wife. They think about having a good time. But the men who have more been established, those are the ones who are going to make the best candidates for an actual man that's going to take it seriously what you want. So that's my advice.
Well, hopefully the Princess Joy is able to take our response to her question. Don't be yelling at us.
Don't be mad at me.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh,
Hey,
Shantaniqua in here.
Anthony,
Hey.
what's going on? It's about facts. Oh, you know what, ladies? Since y'all in the comment section right now, right? I got a question
Thank
for
you, Empress.
y'all. Huh?
I was saying thank you, Empress. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm not alone now. I ain't gonna get beat up.
I got a question for these empresses that's watching us right now. Okay. Do you consider dating two men at a time manipulative, or are you just trying to pick the best partner for yourself?
That is a
That's
good question.
that's my question for y'all since y'all in the chat. Do y'all think dating more than one man at a time, and I'm just gonna limit it to two, is that you trying to pick the best person for you? And while they answer that, family, Israel had to cut out for a second, but tell me that's a good one. So what do you think? Y'all just reacted. I need y'all to tell me the answer to y'all question.
We might have to get them a minute to think about it. They like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
they might have to think about it. Probably, yeah.
That is a good question though.
Have y'all ever? Okay, I'm gonna simplify. Have y'all ever dated more than one man at the same time? Uh-huh. See, y'all was trying not to go there, but y'all act like y'all can't answer the first question. I've dated more than one woman at the same time before.
Have you been in a relationship with more than one woman though? I think that might be the thing that's throwing them off
Have I
because
in a relationship? No.
right, that's why I'm like, I don't think most of them have it, but the dating, because even if like, what if you went somewhere and you was doing speed dating, right? Where like they you meet multiple people and you get to know them within a certain amount of time. To me, it'd be the same thing. So I really wouldn't see nothing wrong with it. I think you got to have boundaries for what the date is. Definitely shouldn't, be just sleeping with it, every time you go on a date, nothing like that, nothing crazy. But it's a part of courting to me, you know, to where you find, you meeting people. So I don't know. We might have to get them some time to answer that one. Y'all got to, all right, then y'all might have to, they can add that to the answer list, or we
Okay.
we touch on it again next week.
Well, family, thank you for joining us on episode 48 of the Pharaohs Podcast. I'm your host, Solomon. Okay, and you can follow me. You can find me on Facebook at Cornelius Solomon Walker. You can find me on Instagram at CJ Walker 103. And if you want a book published, because I be helping everybody publish these books now, you can always email me at 1582, cwalker1582 at gmail.com. And you can also find me, of course, at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? Israel had to step out, but you can always email him at johnatl621 at gmail.com. And for any of his books, Love Poem from the Streets, 621 Money Tips, 621 relationship tips and things of that nature, you can always email him and look on his website at jonathanjohnson621.com. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, we got some. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Ruby up here talking to us. She said she didn't want to answer the question that I posed. And she said she don't feel like it's manipulation to date more than one person. Especially if you keep it a buck with you through the door. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely I have to agree with that one. Like I say, if it's getting to know somebody, you know, I think you should pick eventually now. Not nothing too crazy. Nothing None you on 7 dates each with both of them. Hold on, well, there we go, there we go. Dating two definitely give you odds, but you really the problem dating now too many. But it's good actually
So
right now.
Shantanique says dating to definitely give you options, but that's really the problem with dating now. Too many damn options.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to actually date around to help you know what you really want from a man. Okay.
Right, definitely, definitely. And I mean, I definitely agree with you. And once you find out and you know what you want, it actually should make the decision even easier because then you'll walk into it not so much with the expectations, but you know what conversations to have. So if you go out on a date with somebody and he often take you out, y'all go get dressed up, go out. I'm not saying have a list. Don't make it awkward and robotic, but there should be a flow for you to know what you looking for, and if this person is, it's just gonna be a second date or not. You know.
Not too much time is spent on the wrong place, but it's a short-term fix.
Yeah. Yep. 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 I agree.
All right. We're gonna have to talk about this some more. I like this. Ruby with the hand claps. nah. Now it's getting spicy. I was trying to do an outro, but so y'all saying y'all gonna, what if y'all feeling both men? And then it's like y'all third date. Well, who y'all picking to take down? Y'all taking both of them down or y'all just taking one down? As men on the podcast, I'm gonna say I might take both down. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna tell the truth.
I
I'm
don't
gonna tell the
mind telling the
truth.
truth, but I don't know if I want to make them mad tonight. I don't know if I want to make them mad. I'm not trying to get beat up. Solomon, you all the way in the South. I'm up here with all the empresses. Y'all not finna have me getting jumped. I'm up here with all the empresses, bro. They
You
be like,
gotta
hey,
see.
look, what you
I
say?
talk the way I talk because I'm a king. I can do what I
Oh my
want, say what I
God.
want. You know what I'm saying? These empresses know how I'm coming. I love them so much. I want two of them. I don't even just want one.
Hey. Hey. We'll have this we gotta make this a special episode. We gonna have to do an episode like this before the season is out. Yeah.
For sure. All right. So, Luke, where can people find you?
Yes, sir. You can find me at Luke733, leader number 9 at gmail.com. Definitely tune in, send me a message, or you can find me at the Pharaohs Podcast at gmail.com. And I just wanted to quickly say, as we doing this outro, I absolutely appreciate every single one of you all that have subscribed, that have tuned in. I have been enjoying myself and enjoying this world that we creating. Like I said before, we knocking down doors, telling the world about this. As Queen Capernaum say, I'm gonna have everybody calling out a black Jesus. I'm telling y'all, we ain't playing over here. So I really do appreciate you all, man. For real, we coming out towards the end of the season because we getting ready for some things in our spiritual way of life and stuff like that. But I just really wanted to make sure I take some time to just say we appreciate every single person that tunes in, whether you listen to us on Spotify, whether you listen to us on YouTube, wherever you taking our time to listen to what we have to say. We don't take that lightly in any kind of way, no kind of way.
Shazanique say that was a big leap from the question. She said niggas be greedy, but only one. I respect
Yeah,
that. I respect that.
we gonna
I
have that
respect that.
conversation. Yeah, we're gonna have that
Yeah.
conversation.
Hey, we definitely gotta have a conversation about hoe phases. That'll be crazy because we could talk about that. We can
And
talk
we'll
about
add that
that.
in there too. Add that in there too.
um, and like Luke was saying, we're only gonna have 4 more episodes for this first season, family. We're gonna take a quick little break. We have some spiritual, our holy season is coming up. Our
Oh
Passover, our
heaven.
baptism, and all of
Hey.
that. So we're gonna take a quick break from the podcast, but we'll be back. Second season will start in August. That date will be announced later on. But don't worry, during the off season, there are going to be different, cooler uploads of kind of more on the individual side of the things that we normally do. So you're gonna get a couple of more movie breakdowns from me. I don't know what Luke is gonna actually be sending y'all, but we gonna
Current
have some stuff for
current
y'all.
event news. Luke gonna be coming with the current event news. It's gonna be quick clips of things that's going on that need to be known about, whether it's financial, health, wealth, anything that's going on with our community. I'm gonna definitely be coming in there trying to throw some information so we stay in the loop.
For sure. We ain't gonna just leave y'all without nothing now. Okay. We gonna get y'all a couple things along the way before we get back to the podcast itself. Um and if you cannot join us live on Mondays, the Pharaohs Podcast is also on Spotify. I was just actually listening to us earlier as I was driving. I was driving from getting my little haircut or whatever. And I was listening to the podcast. I said, yo, we made it. We made it. Family, be on the lookout for brand new projects that is coming. We're gonna announce some new projects, new podcasts, brand new podcasts that are coming soon. So be on the lookout. I'm definitely gonna promote that as well. We're working out here. Okay. We got different stuff coming out just for the family, for the Coptic faith. We got it for not only for the Coptic faith, but for the masses of the people, the ones who's listening to us on a global level. We trying to change the game over here at the Pharaohs Podcast.
Absolutely.
We ain't doing just some stuff just to be like, oh, let's have some fun a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun, but we trying to get y'all the sauce. Okay. We trying to get y'all the sauce. Look out for that. Look out for some brand new podcasts. We're gonna start up a Patreon. Second season's gonna be lit. We got a Patreon coming. We might have a Rumble where we're gonna actually break down real teachings. I'm gonna give y'all some real sauce, just like how this flag is behind me. I can break down all of what's on this flag. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just gonna do it just for the podcast, but also for our loyal subscribers. Okay, we're gonna have a Cash App coming soon as well. So just be on the lookout for all that. Thank you for all the support. Please like and subscribe, share, comment. We love when y'all have y'all participation. Coming in and hollering at us. Like I say, like we got some plans coming. So this just was the first season. We getting bigger and better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, family. That's it. Peace.
Peace. Peace.